Welcome back to the series, guys. So we have seen in the last specific video how to clean the data using Power Query Editor, and to be specific, we started cleaning text data, right? So let us start and let us try to understand how are we supposed to clean numerical data, right? On that note, let's begin. So I'm trying to load a numerical data set. So these data sets will be in the description. So numerical, and here it is. So let's just click on open. Alright, so here as you can see we got two different tables, so number table and number, and in the end both the tables are saying the same thing. So Power Query has an ability to tries to clean the data by itself and suggests us the right data. So if you look carefully, numerical table is a table in which we have few numerical columns. So I'll just select, you can go with any of the table, just select with number, and before loading that you have a good preview about the table. So here table says that there is a product name, sales, quantity, discount, profit. It might not make sense, but it's just for the practicing purposes, okay? So we all know that if you click on load, it takes us to Power BI desktop. If I click on transform, it takes us to Power Query Editor. So I hope you know that. So if you remember, this is something we started understanding in the last session, that what is the use of Power Query Editor. In short, it is an ETL tool where we extract, transform and load, and right now we are trying to transform, or you can even call it as cleaning a numerical data. What are the possible ways we can clean numerical information? Alright, so let's have a good look on the data. So here we have product name, sales, quantity, discount and profit. Okay, as you can see, since it is ABC, so that's a text column. Okay, we cannot perform any kind of addition, subtraction on text data, right? So on the other hand, we have 1.2, these things, it's a decimal, right? So let's just click on that 1.2 and let's just check what is it. It's a decimal number, makes sense. And 1 2 3, it's a whole number, and let's check, and it makes sense. So decimal number, so we are good to go. We just understood what exactly this data about, right? So let's try to understand few things. So in the last class we specifically saw we have used this specific group, text columns, because we just dealt with text data, okay? And on the other hand we have numerical columns. All right, so let's see what happens. So here we have selected product name, right? Product name, and if you can notice, these things are not available. Even if I try to click on it, these things will not function, okay? So but this is something which is active right now, statistics. Okay, if I click on this drop down, and if you just see count values and count distinct value, it's like nothing but count will count the entire records, count distinct will count the unique informations from those records. Okay, so let's see what are the two things. Count value, here the number of records in our data are 10. That's it, as simple as that. So I'm going to cancel the steps. We have count distinct, so it will count the unique records. So if you look carefully, this specific column L is repeated twice. So let's see what we get if we count distinct values. So we get 9. So earlier we had 10, so 1 was duplicate and we got 9. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, these are the kind of numerical informations which we can generate out of numerical columns. I mean, now if you can think about it, if you are working with an orders data, every record in that data is a specific order, right? So if you count the record, that's your number of records, right? Yeah. So let's try to figure out a few more things. Sales. And let's go to transform and let's figure out these one by one. So we have first standard. Okay, if you look carefully, in standard we have addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, integer division, modulo, percentage and percent of. So let's understand what are these in detail. So now you got to know that your manager has asked you to say that, let's say, add $100 for every person's sales. Okay, maybe there was some error or any scenario you can take up, and you have to add $100 for every record. Okay, so here I have selected the column and I'll click on add, and what's that value you want to enter. Let's say, as I told, we want $100 to be added for every record, and I'll just hit OK. And if you notice, for every record 100 has been added, as simple as that. But I'll just cancel out the step. Whatever addition we are doing, we want that addition to happen in a new column. So if you remember from the last session, we saw that transform and add column does the same thing. It's just add column creates another column to do this operation. Okay, let's try to figure it out again if you don't remember. So here there is a column I have selected, standard, and I'll click on add. So now I want to add that $100 again. I'll hit enter. So that 100 has been added to the existing column and created a new column. as simple as that. So in the same way we can perform multiplication, subtraction, division. Alright, the thing is, you want to create a column by adding 2 or more columns. Let's see how we can do. So I'll hold control and I'll select the requirements, multiple columns, sales, quantity. These are 2 columns I want to add. Let's say it doesn't make sense, but let's try to see how we can add columns. Okay, so I've selected these 2 columns and I want to multiply. There you go, we got the multiplied information about these 2 columns. So now I hope you are smart enough to figure out the addition, multiplication, subtraction and division. You can either enter a specific value or you would either multiply, divide 2 or more columns. Okay, I hope that's clear. So now let's see something different, which is here we have divide integer. Okay, so divide integer, what is it? Let's try to figure it out. So just you give me a second. Yeah, here. So if you divide 10 divided by 2, you will end up getting 5, correct? That's what? Is it a remainder or quotient? We know that's a quotient, right? So if I do the same thing, 10 divided by 2, its remainder will be 0, correct? I hope you learned this thing in schools, right? So this divide integer, sorry, the modulo returns the remainder, okay? The modulo returns the remainder. So divide integer is different. So yeah, so 10 divided by 2 is this is quotient, right? This is normal division, divide, okay, modulo. So if you look here, we have an option called as modulo. This returns the remainder. So let's take an example. So I'll take this sales and I'll want to divide it with a number. So modulo, let's say I'll take an even number 2 and I'll hit enter. So what you see here, 0, 1.94, 0.62, these are your remainders when you took this column and divided by some number. Okay, so that was about modulo. Then we have divide integer. Okay, so let's say if you take 22 divided by 7, which is a pi, it revolves around 3.14 and it forms an evolute, right? So here you can see we have some values after the decimal. Okay, so this divide integer, you must have, if you are aware about Python, this is called as float division. It is denoted as /7. This returns 3. So what is happening here? So earlier we had 3.14, now we are just getting a 3. So what this divide integer does is that it removes whatever values which are after decimal. It's not rounding up, irrespective of 0.01 anything, it just removes them off. Okay, and it gives the whole number, not the decimal part. It's not rounding, it just removes all the values after the decimal. Okay, it keeps the values only which is before decimal, as simple as that. So let's try to understand these things. So let's take a column sales, and I'll go to standard and I'll click on divide integer. Okay, so let's say I take divided by 3 because that's an odd number, mostly it returns anything in decimals. So if I hit enter, so whatever you see here is, as I just said, value before decimal. Okay, it has the values after decimal, but it's not rounding up, it is just giving the values which are before decimal. I hope that's clear. So that's your divide integer. So percentage, so the same thing, if you want like 2% of every record or else 0.2% of every record, so this is the 0.2% of that specific record. Okay, so that's the thing. Let's continue. Then we have something called as percent of. Okay, this is a little interesting, try to focus. So here if you think of it like this, okay, here for a specific 100%, this 10,000 is 5% of that 100%. Okay, there's 100%, right? This 10,000 is 5% of something. What will be its 100% is something percent of gives. So this is the amount. If that's the 5%, its 100% will be this amount. Okay, that's about percent of. All right, so let's continue. Then we have scientific. Okay, so let's deal with this here. So here if you notice, we have negative profit as well. If you notice here, we have negative profit. So let's see what happens. Scientific, if I go to, this is called as absolute value. Absolute is a mathematical term which you must have ever heard it. It's like irrespective of a positive or negative number, it will treat that as a positive number, as simple as that. So absolute value, there you see there is no negative number here, it will just consider all of them as a positive number. Okay, so that's about absolute. Then we have power. So 2 to the power 3, it will apply for every record. Okay, so if you take this x quantity column and I want to apply thing like a square, 2 square, 3 square, for every record I want to square, cube, power, So power is like 2 to the power some value you want to give, let's say 8. For 3 to the power 8, 2 to the power 8, for every record it will apply. So these are the values if you do for every record to the power 8, right? That's power. So next we have square root. So it will return the square root value of that number. So here square root. There you go. That's the square root value. Then we have exponential, e to the power. Okay. So if you want to get that here, that's your e to the power value. Okay. Then we have logarithmic. So if you are aware, log has two types, base 10 and natural log. So it will return the values in the form of logarithmic values. So to be precise, let's say I want base 10 log. Here you go. Then we have factorial. Factorial is nothing but, so right now if you notice this specific record, so 5 factorial is nothing but what the answer of 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So that's your factorial. So I mean we are kind of getting into the maths type, okay, not that difficult, right? Then we have trigonometric values. It's okay. So here you can get the sine value, cosine value for every record. This 2, sine 2, sine 3, sine 2. So you try doing it, okay? Then we have rounding. We have profit column. So this is something interesting. So this is the real rounding, okay? So if you look carefully, we have 4.91361111. So there is no such thing as like fixed decimal places here. So you want to round up, like for 41.9 becomes 42. That's your round up. So if I click on round up, we got 42. All right. So in the same manner, we even get round down. Select the column, click the drop down, round down. So here we have 41, round up, round down. Okay. That's the thing. Next, let's see what else do we have. We have round. So now you want to restrict some decimal places. You want to restrict some decimal places, like for example, for the entire column, for the entire profit column, you want decimal places to be 2, 41.91, 219.58, like that. So I want to restrict my decimal places to 2. So I'll click on OK, and there you have it. 41.91. For every record it is restricted to 2 decimal places. I mean if you notice what all steps I have applied, all those steps are being recorded here. Okay. Now if you want to go back and change a step, not like a delete a step, you want to change a step. So here you notice this small settings kind of symbol. If you click on it, you can go back and enter your desired value. So again I can change this to 3 and hit enter, and notice we got 3 decimal places. So that's how you change the settings. Alright, let's continue. Then we have information. So if you look carefully, we have is even, is odd, and sign. So is even is nothing but if the number is even, it returns a true, yes, like that. So if you look, wherever you see true, those are even numbers. So in the same manner we have is odd. Is odd, wherever there is odd, it will return true or else false. That's your is odd. Then we have sign. Okay, this is really interesting. So look, we have profit can be negative, right? So here we have negative symbol. So for every positive profit number, it will return 1. If it is in negative, it will return -1. Okay, is sign. So 1 1 1. So we have one record which is giving us the negative profit. With this can be used for like data filtration, like negative profits in like loss making products, profitable making products, like that. So these are the things which you can do with the help of numerical informations. Okay, so I hope you were able to follow. And here now, as you know, if you click close and apply, Power Query Editor will close and it will apply all these functions whatever we have done to Power BI desktop. All right, so let's just wait and see. Let's just wait and have a look at this data. There. So we have created a lot of columns, right? So these are the columns. Percentage, percent of, absolute division. So we are doing this for learning purposes, okay? So on that note, this was the things which we can do using Power Query Editor. So far we have seen how we can clean numerical information and how we can extract informations by using addition, subtraction, and different aspects of the numerical things. And as I told earlier, that data revolves around 3 data types: text, numeric, and date time. So let's continue with this thing and let's try to see how we can use Power Query Editor to extract more information out of a date column, okay, date or time or anything duration. Okay, so let me just click on extract Excel workbook. So I have date and time functions. So I'll just click on open. So here I have multiple things, multiple date informations, but I'll choose the one which is like by default it's clean. Okay, so here we have date of birth, and I don't want this and not this either. So let's go with the date difference. Well, I'll go with this. I'll clean it afterwards, and date and time. Yeah, this one as well. And yeah, I'm good to go. So I can just work with these specific tables. Let's click on transform. Okay, so let's first clean the data sets if at all there is any issue. So this table looks good, so I'll just name this table as years, or else date of birth. Okay, enter. So date difference. So right now we have a lot of different things to clean. So I'll select the columns by holding control, select, and right click, and you just have to remove other columns. Okay, and in the end, if you notice, we have null values. I'll just unselect these null values and I'll just click on OK, and there we go. Now the other table, which is called date and time, same things. We have to just exclude or remove the null values, and we are good to go. So the thing which we have to notice here is date of birth. If you look at this column and if you specifically look at this part, it kind of looks like a calendar, isn't it? So that's what it says. Just by its notation, we can say that it's a date column. Okay, it's a date column. So if you look otherwise, so here we have date and date again, and here also we have date. Here if you notice, we have something different. So let me just click on it. You can see it's holding date as well as time. So why do we need to work with date time? So let's say you work in an office and you are just logging in, so it takes your date as well as login time. Okay, so that's the multiple use cases. I mean, delivery at what time and what date, like that. So date and time also gives us a lot of insights. We can do analysis on that. Okay, so here let's understand these things one by one. Yeah, so here we have transform data. Okay, if you look carefully on your right hand side here, this is when the columns data type is only date. These two, if you notice here itself, these are not functioning. Even if I try clicking on them, they won't respond. Okay, then here we have date. If you click on it, you can see a lot of aspects out of it. So look, first let's see, we just want year to be in a new column. So right now I'm in transform tab. So if I click on year, this year the column entire will store only year itself, but we even want our previous information. So I'll remove this thing off, and I'll do the same operation by going into add column. So select the column, go to date and year, and here, there you go, we got year out of that column. Then first let's see the important stuff. Then month in a new column. Awesome. So then we have quarter. So this 06/06/1988 falls in which quarter? So we know an year has 4 quarters: quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. 3 4 12. In short, it's an entire year. So it says even how we can fetch in which quarter it is. Okay, so then we have week. So let's understand these things first. Okay, so first let's see in year what are the different things we got. Okay, so year. So if you see start year and end year, let's see what happens and what we get if we click on start year. So I'll click on start year. You can see 01/01/1988. So this specific date starts at that given year. So in the same way we have end year, and that's it. That's simple as that. And then let's understand month. So you want starting of the month, start of the month. So 06/06. So let's see what happens if I click on start of month. So it is 01/06. So 06, sixth month starts from 01, obviously. Okay. So in the same manner, let's try to figure out these things. End month, we all know days in month. So let's say this is a specific sixth month and you want to understand how many days it has. 30 days, 31 days and 28 days. We know it's February, I guess. Yeah. Then we have month names, January, February, such things. You even extract. You can further perform analysis on top of it. Okay. Then let's understand. And we have, so that is it about months. Then we have quarter. Starting of the quarter, ending of the quarter. You just try these things, you will figure it out. Then we have week. Year of week, year of month, start. So let's say this is an entire year. Okay. First week, second week, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, and it consists of entire year. So if you want to fetch from that entire year, this specific date falls in which week. So here you got that information. So for this entire year, at this week, we got so and so sales. That's kind of analysis we can do. Then we have, so in a month we have 4 weeks, right? So months, in a single month, which week it falls. So there you go. So that's the kind of information we can pull out of it. Then we have days, okay? All right, so this is interesting, day. Now it says we have all the way 1st to 31st, those days we filtered out, we even saw that earlier. And next, what do we have? Day of week. So we have a week, right? 1 to 7. So this 06 falls in which day? So it falls on 1st. Awesome. So let's continue with it. And we have day of year, start, and these things are easy to understand. And next we have name of day. So we can fetch name, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday, whatever it is. Okay, if you look carefully, most of the people were born on Mondays. That's weird, coincidence. Yeah, so that's about date information which we can pull out of an existing date. Okay, that's the thing. Then let's continue. So since now we know how to extract information out of a single date information, what all things which we can do with the help of 2 different date informations? Let's try to figure that out. So I'll select 2 columns and I'll go to date and I'll say subtract date. Okay, so it gives you the difference. Okay, this is nothing but difference in the form of days. So let's assume you have placed an order on 10th of January, you received it on 15th of January, you have 5 days, so that's the difference, 10, 5. Okay, so that's the difference. So let's continue. Then we have earlier, so 10th March 2019, 30 March 2019. So 10 is the earliest, right? So it fetches out the earliest date among that. So in the same way we have latest, which will give you the latest information out of that. So that's it. Then we have date and time. This is interesting. So we have a column, this is a column called as column 2. In this we have date as well as time. So as I told you the example, log in or log out. So let's see what else we can do. So I want to extract date only out of it, just date. So date will come up in a new column. So in the same way, if you look, this time is now available to use. So time only, we got it in a different column. Now, yeah, so we know how to work with years when the date information. Let's see what all things we can do with these things. So you can extract hours, minutes, second, just like that. So let's do it quickly. Hours, minutes, and seconds. So if you notice one thing, while we are creating a new columns, their data type is automatically been assigned. So that's a great point. So yeah, this is the thing. Then I wanted to show you something. I have taken a duplicate of it. I just want to keep these 2 columns, right click, remove other columns. Awesome. So now these are the cricket players, I guess, okay? And here we have their date of birth. Okay, now I want to find their age. So how am I supposed to find that? So here we have, if you go to date and you have age, look carefully, age. If you click on this age, you will see this age is in the form of duration. We usually don't calculate age in the form of duration, right? So we usually calculate in the form of years. How old are you? How old am I? We talk in the form of years. So now let's change this duration in the form of years. So right now if you look, duration is being active now. The function is available for us. So I want to convert this total year. So we got it and we got it in the form of years. Now we usually don't calculate age in the form of decimals. How old are you? I am 25.1 months. No, we don't say that. You say either 25, I'm 18, I'm 19, right? So let's convert this thing into the whole number. And that's it. There you go. We got a date information out of them. So that's the thing. These are the things which we can do with the help of data type. Okay. All right. So now if you just click on close and apply, it will just close that Power Query editor and it will apply what all things we have done to the date informations. Now we can use them, build visuals and whatsoever. Okay. So yeah, so on that note, in today's video we saw that how we can clean numerical information, how we can extract information out of numerical columns, and how we can extract years, duration, total year and such things from date columns. So that is it for this video. So hope you have enjoyed and hope you have learned something out of it, and hope you all are practicing, and these data sets are in the description, so make sure you practice and hopefully one day you will become a Power BI developer out of it. And please follow and subscribe and hit a like so that I can keep posting such videos. Thank you.